Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly brainstorm. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Let me take a few minutes before I hand over the stage to Ravi, who will be talking about his startup Chotu. Let me take a few minutes to kind of just introduce the concept of the weekly brainstorm. If you're here new, right? The weekly brainstorm is a kind of a one of its kind format where we invite one founder to take stage and share what they're building. And we invite other founders on Unsolved pretty much join us in a brainstorming session where for the next 30 minutes, the expectation is that you put yourself in the shoes of the founder, right? Just assume you are the founder of this startup now, which is presenting, and what would you do to make it succeed? We're going to try a little bit of a new-ish format here. We have not done something like what I'm going to say now, right? So we're going to try and follow an ABC format, right? So we're going to try and follow an ABC format. I'm sharing what ABC stands for, right? So one A is what did you find amazing, right? Uh, 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 what could be better, right? And C is what was confusing, or what didn't you understand too much, right? So what was amazing, what could be better, and what was confusing. Now, as Ravi is taking stage and going to take this, right? We are just going to try and put ourselves in the shoes, and anything that he says which we find is amazing, just mark it saying, hey, amazing, this is amazing, right? Something which could be better, just put that as better, and something which is confusing, you didn't really get it, just kind of try. See, it's a new format we're trying out. Honestly, we'll see how it goes. But it's not too difficult. It's as easy as ABC apparently, right? So we're going to just take stage. Ravi, I'm going to hand it over to you to talk about Chotu. Ravi and me go back a fairly long way. We were batchmates back in B school, and he's attempted a lot of things along the way. A very interesting journey, and just super excited to hear what Chotu's up to. I'm handing over the stage to you, Ravi.
Thanks, Ishwar. We call him God in IM because he had multiple skills at IM. He could play sepak, he could do pretty much everything in the campus. So thank you so much, God, and really super excited to be part of this the program. I was an attendee in some of these sessions. I find it very exciting. Guys, very quickly, a show of hands. I don't know. I really can't see most of you. How many of you live in a community? How many of you live in an independent house? And how many live in a gated community? I presume at least a few of you will be. Yeah, I mean, I can see some thumbs up coming here. So gated communities are basically these large communities of apartments with a gate outside. There's a physical boundary around it, and then they have all the facilities like gymnasium, clubhouse, and swimming pool. And these, I believe, are the real El Dorado of India. I mean, India is a large country, but if you see the money concentration is actually very, very high. Very quickly, I'll show you the presentation which I have built. Pardon me, I have everything optimized for mobile. So you'll actually see a vertical screens, but nevertheless, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just for the others, please try and maximize the screen. That way, you'll be able to see it better. So there's an option to do a full screen on this. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Chotu is group buying for gated communities. And the communities are, again, I'm talking about those apartments which are having the tallest apartments which you can see in Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, etc. These are all calibrated at the level of 80 apartments per acre, and there are an estimated 3 million families live in these top 8 metros in these communities. So we are talking about a fairly small number. 3 million, again, is not a large number for a country like India, but very dense demand we have. 3 million apartments in these large communities. And these are truly the gold mine of India. if you look at the consumer living here, they're all quality conscious. They had a choice of living elsewhere, but they are living here for a reason. They want a better quality of life. They're upwardly mobile and they have very strong spending power. Each household is spending upwards of, again, 5 to 10K an annum only on essential goods and services, which basically means that it is a $15 billion vortex of demand in just 150 square kilometers. So it's a very dense demand which is happening. And despite the dense demand and easy logistics which it provides, we have seen, particularly in Corona times, when they were forced to buy together, there is no way they can actually buy together. And they really even can't get any better quality or any finer, better price compared to anyone else in the city because they don't buy together. So the whole group buying concept in the gate communities is broken, and we want to actually fix it. And how do we do that? We're actually connecting the local brands, service providers, and micro entrepreneurs like home bakers, home chefs, etc., directly with the gate communities. That is what Chotu does. So Chotu is connecting the small-time entrepreneurs directly with the large communities. So large communities get better access to, say, quality and price, and the small entrepreneurs get better access to the market demand. It's a very GC centric e-commerce platform. This is again an idea which I borrowed from Ishwar. Every community will have its own dedicated shopping portal. Just imagine you're living in Shobha Elite. You're having a shopping portal exclusively for Shobha Elite. Everything which gets consumed at home is actually available there. Be it services like a barber service, salon service, or you have a grocery, fruits, vegetables, meat, snacks, sweets. Pretty much everything is available on the particular portal for Shobha Elite. And we are having group buy incentives to consolidate the demand, and the delivery also is going to be aggregated. Hence, will reduce the cost of operations. So every order will actually we don't take anything on demand. Everything will be delivered only on a certain weekday of the for the community. So value prop, obviously the communities discover the finest quality at better prices and safer, fewer deliveries. We want to actually emphasize on the word quality more than anything else, because the community residents are actually living in a community for a reason. They want a better quality of life. In fact, the lifestyle of residents of these communities is at par with anyone's living in the US or UK. And they are paying, say, 10,000 rupees a month only on the maintenance, leave aside the rent or the EMI. So these are very conscious customers who want a better quality of life, and we want to deliver the best quality. So imagine you are ordering tomatoes. I want to ensure that the best tomatoes come into your home. That is the best tomatoes in the country actually come into your home. That's my promise. That's Chotu's promise to the customer. And for these, the smaller brands like, say, local brands, local services, or D2C brands, again, a lot of interest in the D2C brand sectors right now. They have better market access to the very dense, discerning consumer demand. This again is a typical flywheel model. If you see the flywheel model, everything rotates around the community, and as and when more users come into the community, you actually get better quality and better price. And as one community finds the trust in us, there will be more communities, and hence more brands, and then hence they get better access to the consumer. So this is pretty much the thing. Revenue model is very simple. All orders on this Chotu are prepaid. The incentives will be credited to the consumer only if they achieve the target. We get gross margins from the consumer. Obviously, it's a very standardized model, like say Big Basket or anything. We'll have a gross margin of 20 to 30% depending on that. And cost of delivery will be far lower than competition, because we are doing an aggregated delivery, and not every single delivery will be done done individually. And the whole unit economics of this business is going to be community economics. So imagine I spent 3 lakh rupees to enter into a community. How do I milk the community and then make it profitable? So imagine I see a large tower. We want to look at how can we make at least 30 lakhs of revenue there every month, and then at least get a 1 lakh rupees PAT. So it will be like an individual. It will be like an individual P&L for every single community. That's the whole way we are actually looking at the business. Now I think I'll briefly take you to the product demo. I presume, yeah. So this is the homepage of Chotu. It's still not live. It is actually still being developed, so it is on my other portal. But if you see, it is very much sans. It doesn't look like an e-commerce portal at all, because the very first thing you have to do is that you have to find your own community to do the e-commerce. So let me just find my community. I am staying in My Home Jewel in Hyderabad. So My Home Jewel, Madinagoda, Hyderabad. So this is my portal. So I go to My Home Jewel again. If you see, this is pretty much like a community. It has a gate. So My Home Jewel /MHJ is my dedicated shopping portal for My Home Jewel. And then what do you want to buy? So if you see, what is available here is that Javed Habib is coming on 23rd of December. Then there's a nut shop coming. Let's Go Nuts is coming on 25th of December. Then Dadu Sweets is coming. Then Bismillah Meats is coming. Velanki Foods is coming. Or Polarity Sweets is coming. So imagine now this is the shopping portal for everything which gets consumed at home inside My Home Jewel. When I say everything, it's like everything. You can actually have snacks, sweets, fruits, meat, or even services like car services. You want a pedicure, you want mehendi at home, or you want a sofa cleaning service at home. Pretty much everything you want for the home within a community is available here. So now let us briefly look at one such category, like Let's Go Nuts. So if 20% cashback is there, 30 orders minimum to get the 20% cashback. 7 are already done and 23 to go. Okay, so I click on buy. It's a very seamless experience. Again, black raisins 500 grams is 399. Cashew jumbo 899. Badam jumbo 849. I take 1 unit of each of them, and then the total bill is 5,043. Cashback is 1,000 rupees. Again, the cashback will come to you only if this bar actually turns completely blue. So not only do you buy for yourself, you also have to promote this in your community with your friends and family. And now comes the real magic. So when I'm actually entering my say name, since I know the customer is already in My Home Jewel, I just need to know what are the block names there in the My Home Jewel. I don't need to really ask them for the pin code and their entire landmark address and etc. All the block names in My Home Jewel are say Pearl Block, Gomet, Coral, Amethyst, Amber, and flat number is say 108. And I agree to the terms and then I place order. So it's a very, very seamless experience. Okay. Now, this is the hotbed of innovation for the community. Now imagine there is one enterprising guy or say housewife within the community who wants to build a business. Now it is like her business for the community, which she can run, and then she can actually add multiple offers. In fact, it's very surprising when we talk to the My Home Jewel customers. They're saying that thanks to Corona, people are stuck at home and they're actually paying a lot. And the biggest category which they're finding issue in buying is sports goods. So now we are actually category agnostic because we are community centric and category agnostic. Now, depending on what the community wants, we can actually supply that. So now we are talking to Sachdeva Sports to get them the best, or Decathlon to get the best deals for the sports goods. Now let us briefly go to another. So imagine there is another community called SMR Vinay Fountainhead. So it has its own, say, Butcher is coming, Dadu Sweets is coming, Polarity Sweets is coming, Bismillah Meats. So every community will have its own dedicated portal. And mind you, the UX is very simple. There is no login screen. You don't need to give your mobile number till you actually buy something. So we are not actually a walled garden in that sense that like a MyGate, where you need to be legally inside the community. So what happens in this UX is that anyone in the world can buy, but whatever gets bought under SMR Vinay Fountainhead will get delivered only to SMR Vinay. So there is also a possibility of some enterprising person within SMR Fountainhead to do some sub-distribution. Imagine he really gets very good deal from us. He can do sub-distribution, but otherwise that is again not our primary target. But our primary target is to ensure that whatever gets bought in SMR Vinay gets delivered only in SMR Vinay, because the address itself is blocked to SMR Vinay. Okay. And then just imagine what can happen on this particular portal. You can actually have a blog, you can have a classifieds. Imagine you want rent, you want, I'm sure Common Floor, Adda, and all these people are also giving, but those are all actually closed walled gardens. This will be an open garden. Anyone in the world can actually browse. For example, I want to find an apartment, particularly in, say, Shobha Elite. I can actually go there as an outsider. I can go there and figure out what is there. And people who can, obviously people who can post it will be limited to only the residents of, say, the particular community. So this is basically an innovation portal for the community. So this is one way we are actually very, very different from what is available in the market. And the second thing is that the discovery of the portal. So I don't expect Chotu to be known to the world like say Amazon or Flipkart. Because we don't have the money to build that brand. So what we actually get exposed to market is through something like these WhatsApp groups. So for every community, we're actually building a WhatsApp group. We have built imaginary community called Unicorn Towers because that's what startup investors want to look at. So this is like a Unicorn Towers, and then the content is very visual. So imagine we are saying that Chotu is bringing Velanki foods to Unicorn Towers, fresh sweets made to order 30% off, and you can directly buy from the. Similarly, Chotu is bringing. It's not loading. Yeah, Chotu is bringing naturals to Unicorn Towers. Salad at home again 30% off. So and then. Hi friends, as Unicorn Towers community, we can get 30% off on made to order sweets from Velanki. Let's buy together and gain. So if you see this entire address, it actually looks this actually we are calling it a spin internally. This mimics the concept of Google Meet link. It's a very, very simple link which people can just click and then buy. So UCT stands for Unicorn Towers, VNK stands for the Velanki Foods brand, and then this is like a random code at the back. So this is basically how we are actually trying to innovate. So the content is going to be very visual and very simple for the consumers. And actually, we are live. We have done a couple of campaigns in 11 communities in Hyderabad. We have got very positive response from the communities. They really want to buy it together. Again, not every category though. But we're also discovering a lot of stuff which the community wants. For example, the community which you're talking to, they're saying that they want actually cooked meals serviced like a dabbawala every day to their home. Like there are a lot of these elderly people inside these communities. They want it to be done. So we are completely category agnostic and community centric. Whatever the community wants, I think we want to deliver. That's why also we're calling ourselves as Chotu. It's like a G Malik kind of a brand which does everything the community asks. But however, we will not be available to anyone beyond the communities. So that is pretty much what I wanted to share. And I'm open to now brainstorm with all of you.
Hey, Ravi, firstly, kick-ass. I mean, like from our early discussions, this is like crazy progress. So, couple of questions, right? I mean, like, what current stage you're saying you're still pre-product, but have you already onboarded some towers or some gated communities yet?
So, God, we have actually onboarded 11 communities in Hyderabad.
Okay.
But when we really go to the market, we want to focus on just 2 of them. And the beauty of the model is that your deployment of capital, effort, and time can be calibrated to the community. I want to really go deep into communities and make that 10-15 lakhs a month revenue before going to the next community. So it's like digging a well. I want to dig deep, get the oil, and then go to the next well. There's no point really digging shallow wells across the city.
Makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to kind of open this up, right? Anyone can obviously either comment, use the ABC format if you wish. It's just to say what did you find amazing, what did you find, what could be better, and anything that you found confusing. Of course, you can. Of course you can also come up, right? So just throw out brainstorming suggestions, but let me just try and take what happens with I think 2 questions which George is asking, related. One is, do I pay before the target is reached? Second, will the money get refunded if it is not? I mean, if I'm paying, am I paying before or am I paying after?
No, so you actually pay upfront.
So when you're booking, you have to pay.
Yes. It is prepaid, and again, we are also seeing a lot of group dynamics in play there, because the guy who is paying upfront is the one who's taking the most risk. Because once the target is achieved, he's fine. So we need to again figure out how to incentivize the early risk takers. The first 5 orders people we need to incentivize more. That model is being refined as we speak.
Got it. Okay, you're saying
How
the
much
first
is prepaid?
Yeah. So, but I'm assuming that if the target is not reached and the person is not coming, then of course it's refunded, right? So, um, or
I
is
would, we, don't- we would much rather, I mean, possibly we'll not refund it, but we'll give the cash back.
okay, so it's like a wallet, so you can use
Hmm.
it on your next purchase.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
And that is one. Second thing is, it is not necessary for me to actually start from zero. I give a target of 10, but
Okay.
start the count from 8.
Yeah, sure. I mean, those are gamification, or
Yes,
rather, you're just trying to ensure that people think that, okay, I'm not the
yes,
first,
yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes,
I'm not the first. But people may also want to know who else within the community has bought. So you may have to kind of keep a watch for that, right? So
yes, yes, yes. We are, yeah, when these questions actually do come up, but we hide behind privacy and all that.
yeah, okay, got it, got it, got it. How do you acquire new communities? Is there like, are you actually onboarding them with the community?
Okay, great. Fabulous question. Yeah, I think we have, as a policy, decided not to talk to the community association or the committee. That's a sure shot way of actually failing. You're hitting the wall from day one. So we are actually following a foot in the door strategy where we find someone in the community who's either a friend or a friend of a friend of friend of someone who's going to share the link on the WhatsApp group. So it is going to be foot in the door and then virality within. It is never going to be the official guy for that community because we have enough gates already inside the communities. So to start with, in Hyderabad, we have actually access to at least 100 communities through our own community, through our own friends. But once you actually go beyond Hyderabad, where my personal reach is limited, that is when we actually will do some digital marketing. Suppose someone from Sobalit is searching for groceries online, we might actually have a Google ad which is capturing them and bringing them to the community.
Got it. I would suggest just going bombarding on Facebook or something, saying, "Hey,
Yes,
get your own e-commerce site for your own apartment." And all of these apartments have already done it, right? I mean,
yes,
I think
yes,
that's
yes, yes,
a
yes,
better way to do it rather than going Google. I mean, so I
yes,
would
yes, yes.
suggest going Google. I'm just bringing Chakradhar on stage. He wanted to share some thoughts, and then Piyush, I'll have you up there as well.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Uh, Brahmano idea, sir.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm assuming you speak Telugu.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm native speaker.
Good, good. So, a couple of things. In places like Gujarat, lots of things are sensitive, especially if you buy meat.
Hmm.
So, some anonymity of buying would be required there.
Hmm.
The other thing is you shouldn't be driving. So, I'm belonging to a gated community. Let me drive.
Hmm.
Why do you need to be involved? It helps you in scaling. It helps you in other ways also. I feel what you are doing is maybe helping the suppliers come, like Decathlon, to come here.
Hmm.
But beyond that, there is something that needs to be ground up, like needs. So if you have polls available, or if you have a community needs a whiteboard or a post for that, so I might need something in the community, and somebody else in the community might provide me that. You are not involved, but then it helps me make my community stronger. So
Yes,
give them some white space there.
yes, yes, yes. In fact, sir, I'll tell you, during the lockdown, many of these communities actually have done, say, Google Sheets, Google Forms to collect their orders.
Hmm, hmm,
So we want to enable that
hmm,
to the communities. Again, that is again product development which we have to invest in, but something which is for the community.
right,
It is not necessarily delivery, but only just the collation of orders also is enough.
right, right, right.
That is one second thing on the first point you actually talked about. We are actually seeing a lot of interest from some housewives within these communities for enterprising. Okay, so for example, in My Home Jewel, we have caught hold of one lady who's an admin for 50 WhatsApp groups within the community.
Mhm, mhm.
Now she just needs some 5,000 rupees a month to promote us within the community. But she can be the business owner for the brand within the community, and then once she's on board, it's again driving the business within the community. I want a 30 lakh revenue across categories from the community.
Yeah,
And
you could make her like an account manager. No, she's an
yes,
account manager.
yes.
And so where you are becoming the back end, once you have Decathlon boarded onto one gated community, getting them to another community is 5 minutes work.
Yes, exactly.
So you just have to have a preferred set of suppliers. How are you managing competition? There may be two guys giving the same product. I may want to buy from Decathlon, somebody else may want to buy from ABC. So how will you manage that? That will be a challenge for you to.
Okay, so I don't know if you have understood. Basically, I was not very clear on the PIN concept. So PIN is basically a brand is coming inside the community.
Sure.
So it is like the cart of Decathlon is coming inside the community virtually.
Okay.
So whatever you buy will be within the Decathlon only.
Okay. No, I understood that, but I don't want to buy from Decathlon.
Fine.
Then, I mean, the other fellow also has to figure out how to come into the community.
Yes, exactly.
So that's fine. I understood that part. But you are going and getting some brands into the community as per your choice.
Not my choice, but what the customers want.
The
So for
customer,
example, I'll tell you one thing. In my thought process, sports was never on my. So I was talking always about snacks, sweets, fruits, and all that. But surprisingly, sports has become a category which they want to buy. In fact, after sports, I was again surprised that people still are finding it difficult to buy cosmetics and fashion. Personally, I'm not a fashionista. I mean, I just wear uniform all my life. But fashion still seems to be a category. So whatever the community wants, because I'm finally category agnostic.
So one last thing, can you have a sliding up scale? So suppose there are 5 buyers, you're able to offer them 5% discount. There are 10 buyers, 20% discount.
Yes.
If you offer that, then that challenge becomes lesser and maybe.
No, absolutely. Sir. I mean, the scope to improvise on this is tremendous. I'm also like very tied on my budget, my team, and all that. You won't believe this product actually was built by one person sitting in Lucknow.
Very good.
So we're really milking the last drop of blood from the little money I have.
Sure.
So I'm also, by the way, I'm also looking for a technical person who can join on board. It's not a full-time CTO, but at least someone who can do the part-time job to come on board and really, because I'm trying to revise my concepts of technology which I've learned 20 years back and trying to milk the last drop of blood.
So yeah, so I think there's tech part, but there is a lot of optimization part, especially the supply chain type of thing. How often will Decathlon come? Those kind of things. What size of order will Decathlon want to come and service? So like suppose I have a 10,000 rupee order and there is nobody else wanting it, but then Decathlon will say, I'll come and deliver. So so that kind of thing, I think somewhere you need to, I mean, what I learned from Ishwar the last 5 months is you have to get out of the way. You have to make the money and get out of the way. That's the thing.
Yes.
So that's why I mentioned about autonomous, but also the once the model and everything is entrenched, you let the buying and selling happen. Let them, even if they want, if you want, you can reconstrue the rules. So Decathlon will say, if I get a total of instead of 5 buyers, total of 10,000 rupees, I will deliver.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. So you can configure a lot of optimization or whatever OR you've learned in B school that can be useful.
Yes.
Then there are a couple of other things, but I'll get off the stage to get other people on. Thank
you so much.
And one last thing about channels, you need to figure out how somebody, suppose I want to do for my gated community in Baroda, what do I need to do and how does it happen?
You know what, I'm going to add to that because I think it's a very important point that he's bringing up, right? You have a platform, you have a concept. Technically, he now in Baroda could not only onboard his own community, but may even choose to onboard all the vendors for you as long as
Yes,
there is sufficient incentive.
Right.
yes, yes, yes,
And
yes,
also other gated communities in Baroda.
yes, 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 yes.
Now,
So actually, actually,
how do you convert your community resident into a channel partner, a vendor,
mm,
acquirer? All of that will determine a lot of, it will make your job super easy. I mean, then you've just provided the platform and that's it, right? I mean, then that person is doing it.
exactly, exactly. So there are actually two different routes. One is really do the whole backbreaking work of doing the delivery and all that, and second is being just the platform, the tech platform. Right now, I go the route which I know I can do. So today, I think I know a way of delivery because it's all like physical stuff. Going the route of the technology platform again, I need the brain
Excellent.
power to work.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see that this can easily scale very fast.
No, I'll tell you one thing need that we have found startups need, which can piggyback on your app, is basically we need people to come and test drive. So suppose we have an app here, somebody or a service here, he now comes onto your gated communities and you're able to offer it to them.
Yes, yes, yes,
And that's so suddenly it's you have a test bench, and you have actually not a test bench, you have a market for a lot of startups to come to Chotu as Chotu becomes a channel partner for them.
absolutely. In fact, I'm talking to a startup in Madurai called Dermeric. They mix nanotech with Ayurveda. So they want a test bed. I said, I'll do sampling for you in my communities.
Sure.
So it's a very good platform
Yeah.
for B2C brands.
And this thing will change from right from fitness to medicines to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Home care services. You want somebody to come and give a injection. All of
Yes,
those things.
yes, 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 yes,
All of that thing will actually work.
yes.
Great. Now, all the best, Ravi. Thanks, Ishwar, for bringing me.
Popping you off. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akhil.
Again, folks, everything that we do here is mirrored on the conversation that we have on Unsolved, right? So there is Chotu is in the spotlight on Unsolved.xyz, right? So whatever suggestions you're leaving here, please leave it on their page as well, because sometimes it's hard for the founder to just absorb all the suggestions and go through them. So with a written format, he can always revisit it at a later point in time. So that's just a humble request of going back to unsolved.xyz and leaving the suggestions that you're leaving in chat one more time there. It will be super helpful. Piyush, I'm just bringing you up on stage.
Hi Ravi.
Hi, Piyush.
Hey, love the product here, especially and honestly pretty close to me because to be honest, I had a couple of friends who actually tried this out in Hyderabad,
Is
uh,
it okay?
startup, and they did not succeed. So the reason why I asked that question was specifically how do you scale? When I see your product, right, I essentially see two parts. One is the part where you have to onboard community, you have to build a community platform altogether, which lets community do their stuff. And then there's a part which is the D2C part, which is the getting brands or getting vendors or others like Decathlon, or for that matter, any kind of services on board, right? Now, they are two different parts and two very different businesses altogether. MyGate is in one, for example. MyGate
Mm.
Adda is in one. D2C, the closest D2C kind of brand that I see is Cred, which is trying to do the same
Mm.
kind.
Mm.
You can, that's the thing. The interesting part about communities, and this is what, again, coming from some of my friends' objective, is communities don't come one by one. The members don't come by one. They come on together. It's
Mm.
not like you can go on and say, okay, let me just, the example that you gave of marketing, right? Going through Facebook marketing, that unfortunately has not worked for the people I know,
Okay.
because the members or those members are not in, are not the right decision makers of who can get a community onboarded. It's the community leaders, which is the president association. And hence, if you look at the way MyGate or Adda has scaled up, especially in onboarding communities, it has been always to the committee associations and not to the individual members. individual members can suggest, but it goes through that process, and hence they have a B2B sales team. So first question that I had, if you had any plan, how do you want to be in those two things? One is community onboarding and the other is the vendor market, or do you want to do one of them? And if you want to do in both of things, how do you do the first thing at scale?
Okay, great, excellent question. Very, very pertinent question. So first thing is that we have consciously chosen not to go the B2B route, because I'll tell you a live example in my home right now. Okay, we are a very small community of just 100 say dwelling units, and we have only one internet service provider. I've been fighting for a second or a third provider for the last 1 year, and it's still not done. That is the what you call the status of a brand like Airtel or Jio to enter the community. Because association, if you see the people who work for associations, they're all working for free. No one is paid. So there is no incentive for them to take a decision quickly. So MyGate and Adda, with their might of money, have actually ventured, really scaled very fast. Also with the product also is very good. So they actually could do a B2B and then get past that large volume. We don't want to go that route at all. We want to be a completely C2C consumer, referring to his own friends in the community. Okay, it will be a consumer-centric, community-centric stuff we want to do. We don't want to touch the community association at all. That's by a rule book. It is for me blasphemy. So we will not go that route at all. And till 100 communities in Hyderabad, we have access into community through someone or the other. But the real issue will be when we have to scale beyond. So for example, you have to enter into Baroda or into say Surat or Bombay. That is when I have to take care of some digital marketing like Facebook instead of Google, like Ishwar is recommending. So that is on the community side, and on the brand side, on onboarding the brands, we actually are getting fairly good interest. I mean, for example, when we said we wanted to sell dry fruits, we at least had 10 vendors who wanted to say, "Boss, I want to sell dry fruits. You tell me what is the best deal we can have, and we can actually supply." Because they also know that these communities have actually very strong demand inside. It's like 80 apartments per acre, and 80 apartments spending 5 lakhs a year on essential goods and services is actually 4 crores a year. I would argue that is the highest consumption per acre. If there's a KPI called consumption per acre, I think the communities have the highest consumption per acre across the country. So even the brands also are very, very keen to target these communities, and I'll be the channel to take them to the communities. So, and for that, in fact,
I would suggest, sorry, Ravi, just a second here. I think what Piyush is saying is that some of these folks have tried the organic route, right? They've tried the organic route and kind of learned that, you actually have to go through the associations.
Yeah.
The second, and I'm not saying you decide to do that or not, since it's a brainstorming session, it's a free flowing thing, right? So I think what he's saying is that if Adda is using that methodology, MyGate is using that methodology, someone he knows has tried the different methodology and not succeeded, there may be merit. There may be some reason in why it's not worked, unless you have proof that it works otherwise. But even I strongly suggest the same thing, right? For even when we had our conversation, I said, don't go via associations. See if you can go like how Slack could be introduced into an organization by anyone, right? Can you introduce it by, using anyone, even just one vendor, one purchase, and then saying, hey, this person is coming today, because that's how the gated communities today run anyway, right? Someone is getting a vendor and they're just messaging everybody saying that, hey, okay, yeah, whatever.
It's very interesting, right? Even then, someone from the committee of your association actually approves it. Even only then the vendor can come in. Without that, they can come in.
Piyush, what you say is right, but provided the vendor is coming physically inside.
Okay.
But here we are actually doing the transaction online and delivering only.
Delivery is there, right? So
touch wood.
Yeah.
Delivery so far is not being blocked by anyone yet.
Fair. Look, okay. I'm just asking you to be a bit apprehensive about the fact that these associations wield a lot of control.
Absolutely. No two ways about it.
literally my friend's startup went down because they were able to do it in two communities in Hyderabad. They did it beautifully. The third community, they hit the wall, and that's it.
So I'll tell you my experience of my first campaign. So we launched in just 3 communities. Okay. It virally grew to 11 communities. In fact, I got orders from 30 communities. We have chosen to just limit it to only 11 because we said we really can't say garner every.
How was the orders? This is a very interesting point, right? Because network effects goes across community as well. But one of the key points was that all the orders have to be within community.
Yes.
When you scaled up to 11 communities, the orders were they coming across communities or within one community?
No, it was actually commensurate to the community size. So, for example, a community with 900 apartments, I got 60 orders. A community with 100 apartments, I got 10-15 orders. Okay. A community with 2,000 apartments, I got again 50 to 60 orders.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is what you call concentration of demand. It is again not 20% of the community is ordering yet on me, but ideally I would want at least 20% of the community to order on me. That is my ideal nirvana stage.
Got it.
But I think I should be fine with 4 to 5% to start with.
Okay. I'll take not much time. The only suggestion that I have is at some point of time, you'll have to make the decision of handling the community versus handling the brands at this stage. You might want to consider if you want to partner with someone like Adda or MyGet on this side. Because I feel your brand proposition of brand and vendors is very, very strong. To be honest, I'm still a little skeptical about because I have seen that community or the decisions that are taken by the community are very, very binding.
If I may ask you a question, Piyush, were your friends actually approaching the community association or the consumer in the community?
Consumer. They were approaching the sellers of the community. The ones that you talked about, they were working through with them.
With sellers?
The individual, the homemakers who sell stuff.
Okay. So that is in-community commerce.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a company called Trice in Hyderabad which is doing that. So they are trying to connect the home chef, home baker inside the community with everyone else in the community.
Yes. So
that is in community commerce. We are trying to do commerce for community. It is not in community or out community. It is like commerce for community. But I see your point definitely. But somehow looking at the decision making in these communities, I mean particularly the associations. They are very long cycles here.
You're completely right, and I'm saying that's where you have to be wary of because
absolutely.
If you bypass them, there's a different problem to be solved.
We need to massage them. We need to give them some ways of handling them. Yeah.
One concept I tried. I was working on my own social network some time back. I remember talking to Ishwar about it. I don't know if Ishwar remembers. I was working on tier 2, tier 3 communities. Especially the kind of cooperative societies and employee associations. The model that I was able to kind of at least not scale because I had to shut it off. Offline communities had, as soon as COVID hit, I had to shut my startup down. I could not acquire. But the way I was able to massage the community leaders was, what I did was any money that you earn from the diff, put some of that to association fund. Give it back.
I totally agree. In fact, we were trying to actually sponsor their Ganesh Chaturthi, sponsor their New Year celebrations. Some 10,000 rupees is also enough.
Don't do once off. Doesn't work. Make it a continuous cycle. Give them value that, you know what, I'd be able to, if this scales, I'll be able to take care of 10% of your association fund.
10%.
I'm just giving a number because it worked for me.
Definitely. I mean, you say make it official. Don't make it a one-off. Make it officially.
Make it efficient. Make it continuous. It worked for me because the way it worked for me is because I said similar concept. I was trying to find influencers in the community who do those hints and let's say sell insurance and all. For me, communities were things like, let's say, caste-based communities and all those sort of things that a lot of tier 2, tier 3. What I was saying, the concept that I introduced is if someone influencer actually makes money, that money is not given to the influencer but goes back to the association in his name.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, this is really a kick-ass thing, man. I mean, when he's suggesting this, I can just see all the wheels turning, right? I mean, imagine if maintenance fee per month goes down because you're buying from here. One, you buy cheaper. Two, your maintenance fund is either becoming larger or lesser for the community, right? Certainly, there's enough incentive even for, let's say, a community, whatever the leaders, right? Community association suddenly to say, hey, listen, we're getting it for cheaper, and we are also getting it for we're getting a maintenance fund back, right? So we're getting there's some amount of profit sharing, right? They would actually go out now. It becomes extreme incentive for them to actually monetize their community, right? I mean, to get vendors on board, to say, hey, listen, you want to sell, you come and register here. The whole incentive now starts falling in place. So I would really cool suggestion, Piyush. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan. Right? So,
Piyush, if only MyGate listened to you,
No, MyGate.
they would take you on board.
Since we are very much around peers, MyGate has a different problem. MyGate cannot do too much. They tried internally. I know because one of the leaders is a very close friend. They tried thinking of the commerce and brands exactly what you're doing, but they have a huge privacy concern. Let me put it this way: the biggest competitor of Cred is MyGate. The consumer base is same. They have more data than Cred, much more data than Cred. But they can't do it because they have a privacy problem. Because the perception of privacy is very strong when it comes to MyGate, and hence they are avoiding doing it. Another suggestion that I'll have for you is the committee ambassadors. QuickRide created an internship campaign 1.5 years back by giving internships to the kids of parents, kids of community members, giving them incentive to go gate by gate. Think of it like there was school sales programs, right? Make it a dozen, or those lemonade stands kind of thing, or something like this for you might also work.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Right.
Awesome. Hey, Piyush, dropping you off, but please add this to their page as well. Yeah. And anything more. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Oops. 1 second. Okay, awesome. I'm George. Would you want to just come up? I think you had some questions and some suggestions around, around the whole warehousing. Are you warehousing? And then there was some, in general, George is, just bring George up to kind of share stage with you.
Here are we.
Hey, George, everyone.
Hi, doing good. Hope the same with you. I think it's a nice idea, like what you've done, right? In terms of what the whole platform. Just a minute. Sorry, the kids are running around. I just switch on this. Yeah. So in terms of the platform, right? I thought it's brilliant because what you're doing is trying to give platforms the brands and getting the community. But like what Piyush was saying is you might run into problems with associations because, right, you know how even during the COVID times, how the RWAs, the Resident Welfare Association, right, they all started becoming like big police chiefs. You can't do this, you can't do that. So if you bypass them and go directly, there may be some kind of ego conflict that you might have, and they might come back to you saying, and you can't do this, things like that. Or the suggestion that came, right? Maybe incentivizing them, getting him on board would have a better appeal. In that sense, and I feel a platform will be great, especially for unbranded or brands that not many people know, right? So they can come, you can be their what kind of a guidance, kind of a guru kind of thing, where you open the market for them, open to the best tier of folks, right? People who really have money and who want to spend. That will be great because the problem with dealing with MRP products is, because I work in advertising, I know it's like unless you have a certain unit economics, right? You buy in so many tons, you won't get you won't be able to get give the cost benefit there unless you deal with stuff like no tomatoes, potatoes, meat, and all that. There's no MRP, right? So then you can kind of there's a way in which you can no sell it at a better price. Hence, by getting a new guy, you have that control because the new guy will give you more money, distribution money, which you can pass it to the customer or you can keep some for yourself. The
Hmm.
other thing I was thinking is in the warehousing. The whole problem is I've seen my apartment complex also. Some people try this where no, there's a huge van that comes in, and then a lot of people come out and they come with the bags and take stuff and go. But it becomes a little clumsy because and I don't know if that's the model or you have people taking the products and going to the door and dropping it. Because if people are going to come and stand in a queue when this thing comes, I don't know how much because people like convenience, right? That will look like I don't know if you've seen this. It is in Bangalore. There are if you go down the roads, there are these guys who come with apples and potatoes and all on the roadside, keep in a small minivan. People go and buy it. Like so, you get a feeling that it might be like that, right? Where you're not giving value. So I think you need to have a way in which these products are given at the doorstep.
But absolutely.
That's where
Yeah.
you add value. That's
So yeah,
something.
you raised 2 points. First thing is about the branded stuff is unbranded stuff. We want to focus on those categories where the differentiation of quality is possible.
Hmm.
So it is typically like your cold pressed oils, your organic foods, where there are no brands.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So the only way I can differentiate on a branded stuff like Rin soap or a Surf Excel is by dropping the price.
Correct.
So that game is strict no for me.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Amazon and Big Basket can team in one day. If I go by the
Correct.
So we may actually say that we will not even say deliver this so-called branded stuff. So we'll only be unbranded stuff. I think that
Okay.
to start with at least. Okay, that is the first point.
Okay.
The second point is we would ideally want to not take a cart inside physically, but actually deliver it to the doorsteps.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
it is digitally we are bringing a cart inside digitally, and you have to fill the cart for you to get better price or better quality. Otherwise, the actual stuff will come to your home,
Hmm,
not
hmm,
to
hmm.
the gate.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Nice. That really works. And I think in terms of branding, I think what you're doing is great. Well, if you're doing it a B2B, B2C kind of a thing where it directly reaches customers, you don't need too much of branding. And like Ishwar is saying, maybe a Facebook campaign or something that you could done later. And a lot of times what happens is like in communities, everybody has post boxes, right? So if you can do a pamphlet or something, you just put in the post box and tie up with the local newspaper vendor, right? So they get pamphlets and stuff like that. It will be much more cheaper, and at the same time, it can go direct to the consumers. And there are a lot of these. You could probably try that also. A lot of these local community papers are there, like maybe the HSR Times or the Koromangala Times, things like that, which goes only to that particular community, right? And will be kept at maybe at an MK Ahmed kind of a retail outlets where you go into shop, the newspapers will be kept there. They'll also be dropped at the people, and it'll be much cheaper and it'll be more targeted because if we're looking at a certain community in certain area, these smaller newspapers and all will be great than
absolutely. In fact, the RWLs also know the value of their community. So just to put a pamphlet in the 2000 gate community, say what you call one pamphlet, will cost you anywhere between 3 to 5K. They will charge you simply. They'll say, if you have to put a pamphlet, you pay me 3K, then only you'll go inside.
Correct.
So they are very, very strong gatekeepers, and then there are ways of really targeting the campaign only to the community and not anywhere else.
Absolutely, because the money that you do in targeting, right, and since you're only going to apartments, you can focus, and even 3K is worthy money to spend on that because you're not giving to anybody else. No, there's no spillover. The media, there's no spillover media that happens. Very targeted, focused media, which will probably yield you results.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, George.
So we already have Vishal, who was here maybe a couple of weeks ago on on the weekly brainstorm. He runs the Purpose company with a lot of food brands, right? And he says he just absolutely love to partner with something like this, right? And leverage Chotu to deliver to apartment complexes. So So that's happening on the chat as well, right? Rather than going unbranded, potentially have your own brands. Maybe I mean, maybe like a very distant future strategy when
Mm,
you have
mm.
all the distribution available. Then then that's like a normal strategy, right? Then you start a private label or for things that you can substitute. I think that's a good suggestion though, because almost everybody eventually goes into private label. So I do think that somewhere there, I think the model of not having to handle delivery would be very interesting. If
Mm.
you can avoid it, I know that you're not. I know you're thinking of delivering right now, and which is why you're charging 20% margins and things like that. The second you tell people, "Hey, listen, I'm not charging that much. I'm charging 5%," right? You
Mm.
go deliver, right? You have to handle. You have to get whatever that the delivery is done and things like that. It may open up more doors. It may make it just more efficient, right? I mean,
Scaling is faster.
yeah, so I think
Mm.
that's another thing. So we have, sorry, we just have about 2-3 minutes left to end with 12 o'clock. We can continue the conversation on the tables for all those who are around and would still like to chat with Ravi. Ravi, if you have like a few minutes more,
Mm.
you can
Mm.
join the tables as well. Exclusivity, says Vishal, will work well in combination with group deals. So he's saying, is there a way for a partner to be exclusive for a certain category? Is that right, Vishal? Is that the understanding?
Vishal, can you just come on board? I mean,
Yeah, you could just raise hand and come up if you are on a laptop.
I think he raised.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi, Vishal.
Hi Ravi. A very interesting idea. I was just trying to ask you, group deals that you want to do. Is there something like a early Groupon? There were limited number of deals, and you could actually get really good price with and then the deals will be limited. Is there something like that you're trying to do? Because I could not see the app interface anywhere.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because once that happens, then people feel there's a FOMO, and that FOMO will basically drive people to capture that deal. The issue with I mean this is something that we are facing as well. You try to run many deals because if the deal is on exclusive, it actually doesn't work, and they should feel that this is only a limited time thing that they are getting, or they'll get it only now. It will be lost, and then they can go on to something else. So something like that. Is there something like this that you could do, like you know do a limited deal for this weekend? Okay, now
Well,
you.
fabulous idea, Vishal. I think we are actually just trying to build a skeletal structure of the product, and what you're asking is for slightly what you call a mature thing to do. We are not there yet.
Because when talking about group buying, I think one of the biggest advantage that people would have in group buying is a better price. And
Uh,
then when you are actually tying up with someone, even if you're doing your own brand, or you're tying up with someone in their brand and then trying to sell their brand, you will have to give them a volume. Now, if you do something like a subscription only deal, so like you come to me and you tell me, okay, I'll sell 100 kilos of your product today,
mm, mm,
right? And then you actually put it on a deal, and
mm,
then you're able to get it because you've exclusively put on a deal. You got a price from me for 100 units, and you exclusively put on for a deal. People are seeing it and they're saying, okay, black rice in the market is at 450 rupees. I'm getting it 350 rupees. Yeah, this actually makes sense. Let me give it a
mm,
try. Right.
mm, mm,
That's something which I was trying to talk about.
mm,
uh,
mm, mm.
Otherwise, then when you're competing with MRP products or general products, you're competing with Big Basket, you're competing with other people who
Mm,
might not
mm.
really, you might not be able to compete with them. So, you can
Absolutely.
start with niche products, even if you talk about cold press oils, those kind of things, you can start with niche products, do kind of these exclusive deals, and then, other products could be, normally they could add on the cart, but there could be
Mm,
some exclusives going on, every 6 hours there's an exclusive, every
mm.
few. So I mean, if you model it with that, I think that could be one way of actually inducing FOMO, and that will actually incite people to buy. I think that is what I was,
Okay.
um, trying to put up.
Definitely, Vishal. I think Yeah, we have the structure in place for that, but we haven't thought about this exactly. But we'll definitely try it out with certain very short duration deals. The next 6 hours, next 12 hours kind of a deal. I think we'll do that definitely. But otherwise, Vishal, you actually can see the product. I'll just send you where you can see it on the text.
Super. Just dropping you off, Vishal. Thanks for those suggestions. Okay, awesome, guys. Ravi, maybe you can just share your email, your any way to contact you, all of that. Chotu.app will be live soon. Right now, they're still just testing the waters and ensuring the tech is in place before going live. Right, you can reach out to Ravi. Ravi is looking for folks to help him with tech as well. If you're just interested in the problem and you want to reach out and chat with him and just explore something together, I'm sure you'd be happy to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
That right. That's about it for today's brainstorming session, guys. I can't thank you enough for all the suggestions. I think we got some really neat ones today, but I'll leave it to Ravi to summarize that. Right, Ravi, over to you.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, God, for giving the opportunity. I was kind of hesitant, let me be honest, but I think the environment is so open because I also was hesitant because I was not ready yet. But I think God kind of pushed me to go for it and say, just be on the stage and present. And also gives me a lot of confidence that yes, what I talk also makes sense to many people. Because the kind of suggestions I got, it's also for me a validation of my idea, because people understand what I'm telling and people see a problem in what I'm trying to solve, and there is some value in what we are doing. Really, thank you so much, God, and thank you everyone. It is really, I'm mighty impressed and mighty happy today. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for making his day. Right. I'm going to take a break. We'll try and join you folks at the tables if you're around. Yep.
Thank you.